Alright, I know it's been a minute, but I finally got all the parts in I need for this Mini Cooper. So I'm in the midst of, I'm in the bottom end now. And one thing I didn't update on was the simple fact that this, I think I probably put in the comment, like in the description, but the piston for cylinder 4 here is damaged right there. Just discovered that, and it explained quite a bit actually, because the car, once it started running, I saw a lot of blow by coming out the PCV system, and this will definitely explain the low compression. The cylinder head, in the past like week or so, I've taken that to the machine shop, got that redone. He did all the valves, valve seals, checked everything, and so we're good to go with that cylinder head. I had some issues ordering. I had to wind up ordering a piston, and I got that here. And the first place I ordered from had to refund my money because they didn't have a correct inventory, and I wound up finding that one at another location. So we're going to pull that piston out, and I want to show you what I discovered when I pulled the pan down, which was a little discouraging, but I feel a little bit more optimistic being that I saw what I saw. So another thing, there's another tool that you would have to buy. I'm kind of excited. I made this. You know, it took every bit of 30 minutes to make. I just had some straight, I think it's like I want to say 3/8 inch. It's not 1/4 inch. I don't know. I'm no mathematician. But I had some steel laying around, and just cut that and made this device here to support the engine. Simply because, you know, I didn't buy the other tool, and I just got the head gasket here to contact the mating surfaces, so there's any type of, you know, popcorn here from my wheels that wouldn't get it and dig itself into the head once I tighten those bolts down. But other than that, it does a good job of supporting the motor, and you know, I can adjust it if I, you know, put an impact gun to it or whatever. So because the motor is not going to support itself once you pull the mounts out, it's just going to drop. And I was not going to buy another tool. I said, you know what, I can make something just as fast, faster than I can order it. So let's get under there. Let me show you exactly what I discovered, and it kind of hurt my feelings, but let's see that. All right, so the oil pan's out, and here's the number 4 I'm gonna have to go into. I can access the rod from here. Here's what I discovered though at the pickup. There's a chunk of metal sitting in the pickup here, and it hurt my feelings. But luckily, it looks like the skirt or piece of the piston here I'm going to have to replace anyway. So I'm going to pull that piston out, and I'm going to get what I can clean out of this pickup, and we'll see. I was able to look further up in there, up in the bore, and I could see that a chunk of that piston was missing at the bottom by the ring land there. So likely that's where that part has come from, and whatever other materials inside of the pickup is going to be residing. I'm not worried about anything detrimental probably happen as far as contaminants in the motor, simply because the oil filter here has done its job. I'm pretty sure it has done a wonderful job as far as filtering any type of metal that potentially could damage this engine. So I'm gonna pull this oil filter out too, and we're gonna inspect that, see if we find any metal or any type of shavings or whatever could be inside of there that it probably have caught. But let's get this piston out and let's inspect that. So I'm just gonna rotate this crank here. It's gonna get the main or the rod end caps accessible, and yeah, I can access them from here. We're gonna get those cracked loose, and then we're gonna pull that piston right on up through there. This is a 9mm 12-point. Let's get these off. I'm gonna pay attention to the marking on the cap here. Pull it down. Uh-oh, we got a leak. I know that rag dirty. I know. It's not in the engine though, so. Oh. So pull it out that way. These caps are broken. So the words go in the back. Face the rear of the block. Took a long 1/4 inch extension with some wire tape on the end to push it through. Yep. Okay, awesome. I feel a little better. Yep. Wow. Man, that'll answer a lot of my questions. Let's see how it looks with the new piston. I mean, from looking at the top there, you wouldn't even be able to tell. I mean, you would just see this little gouge here at the dome of the piston, and this is everything beneath it. Now, I inspected the bore when it was in there, and I didn't see any issues. I'm pretty sure the oil filter did its job, and I don't think there's going to be anything additionally wrong with this engine. So I think we're good. I'm gonna pull that oil filter out, inspect that, clean that pickup out, and we're gonna get the piston back in there and installed and get it back running. And again, the car didn't have any type of knocking noise, didn't have anything going on. Let's look at the back of the bearing here. I'm gonna pick that up. But here's the bearing. And the bearing looks great. I don't think there was any metal getting down in there. I mean, despite that happening, I mean, I'm pretty sure the car was driven like that for a while. Let's see if it'll focus. The car was running for a while, driven like that, I'm pretty sure. And, you know, there's no metal in there that's going to inhibit anything. It's not like little small chunks. So I really think we're fine. I'm not going to break my neck over it. Again, I mean, everything has to go through the oil filter first before it gets distributed out through the oil channels. And I'm pretty sure that cartridge did exactly what it was supposed to do. I'm just going to exercise a little common sense here. So, again, I'm pretty sure it's going to be unorthodox, but based just on past experiences and stuff, I mean, this should be perfectly fine. And again, the engine does have 42,000 miles on it. So I think we're good. Make sure I was going the right way, man. Just my luck. How convoluted this car is. Everything's like reverse grid. Just to add, I did get the timing chain and all that stuff out, so I'm gonna have to be changing everything in there. It wasn't that bad pulling timing chain. It was just having to remove that tensioner for the water pump. Oh shit. Got a pan down there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see any type of metal in here, but you know, assuming the filter did its job, that's what it's supposed to do. Yeah, there's metal. There's a little bit. I mean, it's nothing significant, but I can see like little grits pieces in there. But again, I mean, the filter done its job in catching the metal, so I'm not going to question anything. That's what I wanted to see, actually. So I'm going to get everything cleaned out the best I can on the strainer, and get everything put back put a new filter in there, and get everything put back together. Now I'm pretty sure we'll be perfectly fine. I mean, this is, like I said, the filter is doing its job. That's exactly what it was supposed to do. So this is the first official new part going on the car as far as making progression. I mean, I got as deep as I'm going to be able to get with repairing this vehicle. Just simply going to stuff that in there. So ain't nothing but progress from here. Man, so I was going to go put the piston in, and I was like, you know what, this compressor really isn't compressing those springs really well. And lo and behold, the oil ring was way out of specifications as far as checking the tolerances. And it was my fault, you know, I should have checked the tolerances. I'm doing it now. Got my filler gauge here, and got the specifications for the appropriate end ring gap. And it's supposed to be I'm doing them all at 0.2 millimeters. So that's where I will have the ring gaps for all of them. And I had to take off a couple, actually probably like a legitimate 2-3 millimeters off of what was already on here. And I'm still going to take off like another, like a small portion just to get it to fit appropriately. It was way out. I mean, if I literally was to put the oil ring in there, I would have had like that much. Let me see here. I mean, these rings are not supposed to overlap or anything, but it overlapped about that much. You see the yellow. I mean, it's not supposed to be like that. So I'm in the process of checking the ring gap now, so I can get that to work appropriately. But when I went to compress the ring, it didn't compress flush like it was supposed to, so I can install the rings. And again, I mean, this is why you're supposed to check your clearances and not trust where you get the parts from. Because man, this would have been a catastrophic failure just putting what I got in there and forcing it in there. The rings would have been bent up, and it just would have been a mess. So let me get these together, and then we'll get that piston installed appropriately. So I want to show you what I got so far. Like I said, I had to take quite a bit of it off just to get this point. At the top of the bore here, there's our oil ring. You can see that gap there. I mean, I can't even, they're overlapping. And like I said, I've taken quite a bit off now. So I'm gonna take off a little more. Get these, oh shoot. Some focusing problems, and get these lined up like it's supposed to. Get a little bit of assembly lube on here. I had this stuff for years, man. It's a little bit. Do this thing there. It's a lot better now. Here it is hours later. I did not document any torque specs or anything. Again, this is not a repair video. This is just documenting what had happened with the particular misfire and the resolution of that. But I got the piston there, got the my rod cap torqued down, got the oil pan, got new sealing around there. Got the I got the metal that was in the pickup cleaned out, and this is all that I recovered. There's a lot more that was scattered everywhere, but as far as the oil ring, here's actually the oil ring right here, part of one, and there's actually a spring that goes around it that actually fell down in there. I recovered that also. So this is part of the piston, oil ring, and the actual the additions to the spring that goes in the oil ring. I didn't have to shave that or anything, but either way. So I got all that out of it, and again, I'm not worried about the contaminants in the oil or anything. The cylinder head has been addressed. The cylinder head has been cleaned. The machine shop took care of that. The oil filter did the rest of the job as far as filtering. Did a great job of filtering any particulates. The engine didn't have any knocking. The cam bearings on the camshaft, those are perfectly fine. The journals are fine. I'm not worried about any contaminants in there, so we're good to go. Got a new front crank seal on, of course, obviously the new timing components. Got a new drive belt and everything on here. So the bottom end is done, and I want to say I'm 50% as far as getting the motor assembled. Well, I want to say 30% because I got to get all the turbocharger and stuff on there. But I'm going to go ahead and install the cylinder head and get everything buttoned up. Hopefully I can start it up today once I get all the top end stuff knocked out, and just tonight, just know that it runs and it runs fine. That's my biggest concern, because I'm like, it's one of those nights I'm kind of nervous. So it's like 10 o'clock at night right now, and so I'm going to mess with this for a couple hours because I got a lot of work, man. More motor jobs. So what's next? I'm going to get the head position and get that installed and get all my time and stuff back in there, and I guess we'll be back and see what happens. I'm using a Victor wrench. This is the choice here. It's a standard size, nothing special. They did have various sizes on here as far as thicknesses go, but I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna look over the directions, make sure it doesn't have any requirements of, probably having to use like some type of RTV sealant. So I'm gonna look at that, and we'll probably update. You can't put this on wrong. I mean, it's only going to go in one way. The head has a very unique design. Sits right on there, nice and flat. All right, she's on there. That thing heavy, but I can lift a lot of weight too. Golly, it is a meaty head though. That does not sound right at all. All right, I got some new head bolts. I'm gonna get those installed. I got a little filter for that in there. I got the cylinder head bolts torqued down. I do have Velcro bolts. Those are new. Those are torque to yield type bolts, so you're going to have to replace those. It's definitely not recommended to reuse them. The timing chains knocked out. That's preset, and I'm just putting some oil on the vital parts, the moving parts for the first startup. Once I get to that point. I can put oil in here now while it's open and exposed, and because the next thing I'll probably be doing right now is putting the valve cover on here to cover everything up, and then I'll just start putting on the intake and the exhaust system and hooking up everything that's associated with that. But other than that, everything's pretty much going pretty smooth. Not to be intimidated because of the timing. I mean, everything is in a fixed position. The main thing you really need is definitely the torque specs, because they're in Newton meters, which I just Google and get a conversion factor and then do the 90 degrees as I'm supposed to. So that's not a big deal. We just don't use Newton meters around here. But everything's good so far. So hopefully next clip should be this starting up, which is going to be probably really quick for y'all, but several hours for me, because I got a lot of stuff. And I'm going to start up with the front end off. I don't need the condenser or anything hooked up, the radiator or anything. So once I get all the turbo and all that fancy stuff on there, I'm not going to worry about the rest of the stuff. I just got to hear it start up tonight. Everything's done. Not everything. The engine's put back together. Now only thing I need to really do is just start it up and see if it actually runs. So it's 1 o'clock in the morning right now. So I think been picking at this for like 3 hours from, I want to say, from start to where I'm at now. So technically, the only thing I got to do is put the front end on and hook up the air box and everything else. So again, we're at this point here. So I can sleep either miserably or peacefully, because I need to know if this damn thing is going to start up and work like it's supposed to. It's not going to run that well, but it should run smooth, and that's what I'm looking for right now, just for some consistent running conditions on all cylinders. So it's going to misfire, hesitate initially, and it should clear up. I don't know yet, but all I know is I do have my timing's done. The lock pin is out the flywheel. Intake, everything's hooked up. Turbo, everything's hooked up. I don't have any coolant in it, obviously, so I'm not gonna let it run too long. Drive belt, harmonic balancer's tight. So those are the main things. The timing's put back together like it's supposed to. The harmonic balancer's tight because all that stuff freewheels. So cross your fingers, or get your Vaseline, whatever you're gonna do with that. So let's see what happens. Hopefully the battery's dead so I can buy myself some time. It's not starting up. What's wrong? And I got a fuel leak. So that's cool. The fuel line wasn't tight. No big deal. Alright. Had a little setback here. Like 7 attempts, car never wanted to start, and the car like disabled itself and went into anti-theft mode. I'm hoping I'm right. But once I'd done a little bit of investigating, I had to go into the CAS system, car anti-theft system. I think that's what the acronym's for. Doing a little investigating. One of the things I had to check was the ground strap, and I did not have that hooked up on the right side of the head here. So let's see what happens, because that was like a 40-minute setback. So hopefully it starts up now. Actually wants to rotate and start up. Alright, well, the good thing is it sounds like I got good compression. So it's running bad because I don't have any map sensor or anything, or mass airflow sensor hooked up. I probably should hook that up though, but it should run okay. So this is first start up, so let's continue on this journey. it still has a misfire, and I think I found out why. I don't have the cam sensor hooked up on this side. Am I in the right spot? Or let's see here. All right, let's try with the cam sensor hooked up. So the first startup sucked simply because gosh, there's a lot. The first startup issues, and it's just because the Mini Cooper is so much worse. So it was already ground issue. So luckily that was that, because I'm like, this CAS unit car anti-theft or something system or whatever is inside the car. I'm like, I don't know how I screwed up anything related. So it's like 2:30 in the morning right now. So you see how I feel. I'm like hallucinating. I'm going crazy. Anyway, found out that I had an injector that was disconnected. Luckily it was number one. That was that one right there. So that's fixed. So I'm going to start up now, and it should run smooth despite the oil leak. So let's see what happens. That's the smoothness I want to hear, so I can like sleep with ease. I don't care about that oil leak, because I'll investigate that tomorrow. It's pretty bad actually. Hopefully, let me see if I might be able to record it and review the footage. I really don't think I'm ever gonna finish this, because like finish this video. I've like went through this like 12 times. Ugh. Anyway, it's like 2 o'clock in the 2:30 in the morning right now. That's what time it is. But the car, I achieved what I needed to today. The car runs, and I'm like one of those mechanics. Like I'm not gonna sleep unless I get what I gotta get done, taken care of. So it runs smooth. Had a little mishap with the misfire. Luckily, I didn't smell any gas, and I went right to the injector, plugged that joker back in, and now it's running perfectly fine, running really smooth. The only mishap we got is the oil leak here, and I'm gonna find a oil cooler line, not oil cooler, but an oil feed line on the internet or somewhere I can get it from, so we can get this taken care of, because this is the only thing that's gonna hold me back. But luckily, I started everything up and found this early on versus having all that stuff on, and it's virtually impossible to work on with the front end on this joker. So the car runs smooth. We accomplished our goal. I got like quite a few more hours to go as far as getting everything back in and the AC filled up. And I'm gonna have to recheck for more leaks, make sure everything's perfectly fine. But I think we're good. But yeah, this little doohickey here was what was riding up and down, not giving us our compression. We got a brand new piston in there. Hopefully this lasts 50,000 miles. Hopefully they don't have to worry about this again. But honestly, talking to the machine shop or the machinist, he said he actually had to do these like at 20,000 miles. Man, this is wow. I could imagine doing this. I would rather do like 18 brake jobs than this in another day. But it's not that bad though. I'm just glad it worked. The timing components that I got worked as far as the toolkit, so I'm satisfied with that. I'm just really satisfied that I found out that this damn thing is leaking oil before I got everything on. You don't understand. So I'm gonna find that line, get everything back up, and I guess I'll do an updated video once everything starts working again. This was not a repair video. This was just seeing like what happened, and damn, this I wouldn't have thought for something so insignificant up top it would display a just completely damaged skirt like this, like where the ring lands are just completely demolished. I mean, I had turbo cars and I never had all this stuff happen, and they were standard pistons. Anyway, but major accomplishments. We'll update. But other than that, look, hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, have that reassurance of my work. See you on the next one.